Advanced Inquiry is very simply the most powerful and fast ad hoc inquiry tool for SunSystems, but also allows functionality against iPOS procurement system data, bank reconciliation, and other tools if required. Advanced Inquiry features include a very clear and easy to use user interface, and it has a proven record of being installed and up and running within 1 day. There is no configuration required. The system provides instantaneous summary and drill down data for SunSystems ledger information, including by account, by T-codes, ledger analysis codes, journal information, and allocation data. It has many different types of functionality that can be applied by a user on the fly. There is no need to predefine any drill downs, meaning that it's less frustrating and takes less time, and it is multi-screen, multi-account, and provides summary and detail inquiry. The system links both to SunSystems but also to procurement data, and it is very quick and easy. The benefits of Advanced Inquiry mean that it also allows for information to be deployed both within the finance user base and also outside of that base. For the finance team, it provides specialized functionality that mean they get their information quickly and effectively and when they want it without having to predefine their reports. But for those users who don't necessarily have access to SunSystems, Advanced Inquiry can be deployed to their PC or via Citrix, and they can be given access to the system in order to make their own inquiries into specialist areas if required. These reports can also be saved and deployed to them as a folder within the system or as a desktop icon where needed. Custom drill down to any transaction source means it's useful against other external systems where they may have a database that can be drilled to from the SunSystems information. The system reduces frustration, saves time, and provides instantaneous transparency. The ROI on Advanced Inquiry can be articulated very simply. It is low cost both from a license perspective and also very quickly implemented, saving cost and services. It saves time in distributing reports to non-finance users and saves time for finance users in relation to their day-to-day inquiries. It does not require a SunSystems user license, and the system makes lives easy. I'm now going to show you a demonstration of the Advanced Inquiry software and some of the processes and benefits that can be obtained from using the system. Before I do that, on the screen we now have a value statement from an organisation that has previously implemented Advanced Inquiry and found it a benefit to them on a day-to-day basis. Here we are in the front screen of Advanced Inquiry. I've already logged in as a user using a user ID that was set up in SunSystems. This does not use a SunSystems license, however it can be used to control the functionality and the data available to each user group. In order to start an inquiry, I can go and click on the ledger icon, and this will bring up a set of criteria that I can use to define the information I wish to return from the system. The first selection criteria is my business unit or database within SunSystems, and then below that I can choose to see either transactional information through a detail inquiry or balance information using the summary inquiry. You are able to access a number of different ledgers from within SunSystems if you need to, and you can display more than one ledger at once, such as a budget to actual variance. Over on the right hand side we can choose which element we're going to use for the summary inquiry. The default is by account, however I could go and add other fields from the information displayed in this list. This would include transaction analysis, journal types, journal numbers, and a number of other fields if required. If I run this inquiry without filling in any more information in the tabs at the top, this will give me a list of summary information based on all transactions within all accounts of the ledger. As you can see, it returns this information very quickly to the screen. From within an inquiry, I'm able to drill down on a balance just by double clicking on it with my mouse, and this will then give me a list of journals that made up that balance within the system. Along the top you can see journal fields, and you are able to add further journal fields by right clicking and choosing the edit columns function. Here I can then choose to display any field available to me from both the journal but also from other areas such as the extension tables within Sun, transaction analysis, account analysis, etc. If I click OK, the inquiry is then reformatted and the extra columns appear on the screen. If I ran another inquiry, since the system is multi-inquiry and multi-screen enabled, I can actually go and make some selection criteria along the top. By choosing accounts, I could choose maybe to bring just back my debtor balances, or maybe a range of accounts if needed, or even a cherry-picked range where this may be appropriate. The other fields give me the ability to choose transactional information such as amounts, ranges of amounts, accounts, periods and dates. I can choose by journal types and journal numbers, allocation markers and allocation dates, and any number of other fields along the top. If I chose, I could bring back just my debtor accounts, and that's what I'm displaying here. For my debtor accounts, by drilling into the information, I could actually go and see the other side of any allocation that was required. For example, if I right click, edit the columns, and add in my allocation marker, date and reference, this will then show me that some of these invoices have been paid. If I wanted to see the other side of that payment using the SunSystem allocation functionality, by right clicking I can say drill to allocation, and this will then show me the full allocation set. If I click on the icon at the top, I can see all of the currently open inquiries in one screen and jump between them as needed. From a list of transactional information, I'm also able to further summarize. This can be done in a number of ways. If I right click on the information, I could use the summary function to go and choose to summarize this perhaps by a department or a T-code, and this would immediately be applied to the screen. Then I could look at one of these particular departments, in this case 13, and from there I could drill down and see the transactions that make up that balance. Another way of summarizing information from the screen when you're looking at a journal level inquiry would be to drag columns up into the grey area at the top and let go. This would then give you a summary of the information by that particular field. I can do this for multiple fields at the same time, giving me a breakdown and subset if needed, and I can always display my balances at both the total and the summary level if that's applicable. As you can see, there is no pre-definition required for this drill down, making it very quick and free of frustration. Any information on the screen can be taken directly to a graph if required, and that graph can be printed out and manipulated where needed. The system allows you to export information directly to Excel or to Word and retain all of the screen formatting where needed. This can be done by clicking an icon on the screen if you've got them available, or through the File Export function. Where you've got a journal line, you can also drill to the other side of that journal where it is in another account or something not currently shown on the screen. For example, if I take this journal here, we're looking at journal number 125 and journal line number 11. If I right click and go Journal Inquiry, this will show me the complete journal across all accounts. From the right click menu, we also have options to do a column summarization if that's applicable, and we can also go and do things such as drill to the details of a particular transaction line and display it on the screen in a form which is easier to view and perhaps more applicable in some cases. If this journal were actually in a debtor account or a supplier account, we could actually go and see address information if this was needed. Within the inquiry screen, we also have the ability to save the current inquiry or save a new inquiry for later use. Indeed, you can also distribute these inquiries to other users. If I go back to the criteria for this inquiry, I could actually check the save option, and this displays a list of folders that I could use to save the functionality. These folders could be set up at a user level or at a group level or in any structure you may need. If I give the inquiry a name, I can save this and rerun it at any stage. So if I cancel the current inquiries on the screen and close them all up, when I go back to the main menu, I could then actually go and say let's have a look at those folders, choose my inquiry and run it immediately. I can also send this inquiry to my desktop if needed, making it very easy to run. If I close inquiry, I've now got this sitting on the desktop, and by double clicking it, it will open up the system and run the inquiry for me. Where I wish to predefine an inquiry and send this to another user, I'm also able to right click on it, go send to, and send it to a mail recipient. This would send a link where by clicking on the link the user can immediately run Advanced Inquiry and open the inquiry for me. This means it's very easy to distribute reports or ideas to other users who may not be able to define their own inquiries. Advanced Inquiry also offers the ability to inquire on other data and not just the SunSystems ledger information. For example, over on the left hand side there is an icon here that allows us to drill into iPOS procurement information. This is default functionality for the system if you use iPOS, since iPOS is also a tool designed and built by Professional Advantage. If you are not an iPOS user, yet you have other systems that may be linked to the reference data within SunSystems in some way, you can build custom drill downs using the option for Maintain Custom Drill Down. This allows you to write SQL script which will then bring a link between SunSystems ledger information and the information held in the other system, as long as there is a commonality of some type between the information. Once a custom drill down has been defined, which is usually done during an implementation, the user will be able to use the custom drill function to choose that particular drill and then see the data that they require from the other system. One final piece of summary information that's available from within Advanced Inquiry is the ability to pre-summarize information as you bring it out of the system. So for example, if I actually brought out details across my entire ledger, this will give me ledger transactions with no selection criteria. However, here I could actually decide that I wanted balances by not just account but also by journal type. So if I click the add function and go down to the bottom and choose journal type as a summary element, when I actually click the OK button, it will then pre-summarize the information. So for example, here I have the account balance for account 11,000 by general journals, and here I have the same account but by my sales invoices. This information could then be further summarized by dragging them up into the column summary as we did before. As you can see, Advanced Inquiry is a very powerful tool that offers lots of on-the-fly information and abilities to your finance users and anyone else who needs to see transparency within the SunSystems ledger data. Should you be interested in seeing more of Advanced Inquiry, or maybe talking to someone about it, please do feel free to contact your SunSystems partner and provider or Professional Vantage, and we'd be happy to help you. Thank you very much for your time today.